All right, welcome back to the Central Valley Buzz, everybody. I'm your host, Chuck Leonard. Let's bring in our next guest, Ralph Arbitelle. Ralph, how's it going, buddy? How are you?
Fine, how are you?
Did I say that right?
No.
How is it?
Arbitelle.
Arbitelle?
Yeah.
Well, then we have someone that can't spell very well, apparently.
Oh, that's probably true.
Now, you wrote a book called Chronology of Man.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about it.
Actually, this is my 7th book.
Really?
5 published and 2 of them just finished.
Okay, well let's go back. Let's go back. I see you're wearing your Korea war veteran. Were you in Korea?
Yes, I was.
All right. Good to see you. So was my dad. I have to ask you a question.
Yeah.
My dad said that when he landed in Korea, they got him off the plane, they walked him through a tent, they gave him 10 shots in this arm and 11 shots in this arm, and made him do 100 push-ups at the end of the tent. Is that real?
That didn't happen with me.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't happen to my dad either.
Obviously, from the way you're saying that, he came over right from the States to Korea.
Yeah.
I was in Japan when the war started.
Okay.
And
what were you doing in Japan?
I was in the Army.
Okay.
Yeah. And when the war started, why, they needed somebody to man a machine gun.
Is that what you did?
I got picked.
You're a machine gun operator?
Yeah.
On a plane or a ship or on land? Or what?
On the land.
Really? you seem like you enjoyed it.
No, I didn't. I hated it.
I bet you did.
I hated the fact that these were people we were killing.
Mm-hmm.
I still hate it.
Yeah.
But I got to show you something before I go any further. You know what this is?
That's a $2 bill.
Let me show you something. My wife says to me, "You are the only magician I have ever seen who can do this slowly and in front of people and really blow them away."
What?
And I said to her,
You turned a $2 bill into 2 singles.
into 2 singles.
Wow. Right. I didn't take my eyes off of it.
But wait, my wife says to me, "Well, that's pretty good." She said, "I've seen other magicians do that." She said, "What I'd like to see is, I'd like to see you change it back to a $2 bill again." And I said, "Okay, hon." And I did that.
How long have you been doing magic?
I did magic for 40 years. I was a professional illusionist. And I actually taught it in college.
Were you on the road or Vegas?
Oh, yeah. I was in Vegas for 10 years.
At Circus? Or?
Oh, I was at the Dunes, at Circus.
How long ago?
Oh, God, I'm going back a long time. I was back in the 70s when I was in Vegas.
You know Tony Blanco?
Oh, yeah.
You know Tony Blanco? No kidding, rest his soul.
Yeah, and Jimmy Grippo. And,
Really?
did you know any of them?
No, I know Tony used to live here.
Oh.
Yeah. He's a really great guy. So let's talk about you're a magician. That's fun, right?
I'm a retired.
You still are. But when did you turn into author?
Well, I've been writing since I was 5 years old. My mother used to encourage me to write, to keep a journal every day, and I used to write poetry. I've written over 7,000 poems, and I've actually had most of them published all over the world.
No kidding.
I love to write poetry. I even think that way, and a lot of times.
Let me hear a quick poem.
A quick one.
Yeah.
Well, as I was driving down the street, this wonderful woman I happened to meet, she said to me, "Do I know you?" I said, "I don't think you do." She said, "Well, I think I might like to know you." And I said, "Well, I can make that come true." So the both of us are really friends now, and I still can't figure how.
Very nice. Tell me about your first book.
My first book was a book called The Bingo Farm, and it's my favorite book because it's all about me as growing up. And the first thing my mother did that made me really proud was when I was 9 years old, I came up with an expression, and she trademarked it. And you've seen a lot of people use it through the years, and I've never made a dime off it.
What's that?
Success is a journey, not a destination. I created that when I was 9 years old. So think about that.
Wow. That's
9 years
heavy
old.
stuff.
Yeah.
So you go into the Army.
Oh, yeah.
How long were you in?
I was in 3 years, 9 months, and 26 days. I went in because I wanted to get an allotment for my mother because my dad had taken off with another woman. And I was the oldest one in the family. My mom had 6 kids, and I was the oldest one. I tried working 2 jobs when I was 16, and somebody said to me, "Why don't you go in the service? They'll give you an allotment." Well, that was it. I joined the service.
How much was the allotment?
About $121 a month my mom got.
That's not so
it was
bad,
good
right?
money.
Yeah.
In them days, it
That
was
was
good.
big money.
Yeah. And I really liked it. You know, the one thing that really upset me was I have 100% disability. When I came back from overseas, I couldn't re-up because medically and emotionally I was in really bad shape. And I didn't know how bad I was until, you know, I wound up one day. I actually signed myself into a mental institution because I was so bad. I did that twice. But I have to say that...
So did Abraham Lincoln.
Did he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He's quite a man, that guy.
Yeah, he was.
I don't measure up to him, I'm afraid. But
Not in height.
Not in height at all. But I'm as ugly as he was.
Tell me about your first book, Ralph.
My first book, though, The Bingo Farm, it's a wonderful book because it's an insight into the thoughts of a young man as he became an old man. But the Bingo Farm story is a real story about my brother's wife. And she's a bingo fanatic. If you have a bingo game going on, and she knows that she can make it back in time to make him breakfast, she'll go to it. And that's what the Bingo Farm was about. She always wanted to have a perfect night. And she came very close a couple of times. But unfortunately, according to the book, it drove her insane. I think she was insane all the time, to tell you the truth. She's a wonderful lady, Linda, though. But anyway, my brother and I collaborated on that. And I just love that book because there's a lot of poetry in it. There's a lot of my poetry. There's a lot of my inner thoughts. And looking back at myself as I grew, our psychology changes so much as we get older. And yet a lot of it goes right back to when we were younger. You know, people say to me, "Well, you must have had some great teachers." I only had one teacher in all my schooling that I remember, Mrs. Geary. And she was the only one that ever pulled me by the hair when I was talking too much.
Always remember the
I loved her, though, I'll tell you.
And
she really
kept you in line.
She really cared about whether or not we were learning. And
Where'd you grow up at?
In Connecticut. Yeah, I was born in Danbury, Connecticut.
How'd you come out to Fresno?
I came out to California to do a show, a magic television special, in 1966, and never went back.
TV special with who?
Oh, a bunch of magicians that were on the air at that
Were you in
time.
L.A. or Bay Area?
In the Bay Area, in Jack London Square.
KTVU.
KTVU, Channel 2. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And my son was the youngest performing magician.
That's where I used to go for Romper Room.
On that program.
Yeah.
Isn't that something? My son Robbie was the world's youngest professional magician. Did his first show when he was 4 years old.
Is he still doing it?
No, he used all the money he made doing magic to put himself through college, and then become a music producer. He produces Christian music.
Nice. As you said, there's 5 books that you've done already. What are the other ones?
Terminal Point, It Took Someone Who Cared, The Letter, Aces, and The Bingo Farm.
Where can people find your books?
On Amazon, in the bookshelf over there.
Well, I'll tell you.
On your site.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, they're on CentralValleyTalk.com right now for sale.
Yeah.
So after hearing this interview with Ralph, I'm sure you're interested in his books. Go to CentralValleyTalk.com. Go to the bookstore tab and find some of his stuff. You and I aren't done talking. You need to come back again.
Oh, I want to come back. Yeah, I like you.
All right. We're going to take a quick commercial break.